Arctic Air and Heat has served the Alexander City and Lake Martin area for almost 30 years. Arctic Air and Heat provides integrity along with quality service and maintenance for any kind of system. Arctic Air and Heat also offers a duct-free split system that delivers the unmatched comfort of a traditional split system to the individual spaces in your home. Pay them a visit at 33 Milam Road in Alexander City or give them a call at 256-794-4341 or visit them online at www.arcticairandheat.com. Welcome back to Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Again, glad you've joined us throughout the state of Alabama on Charter Channel 80 and Channel 2 here in the Lake Martin area, and also on 97.5 Kalijah Country on your radio dial. You can also catch us every week on sportsblitzlive.com. That's sports with a Z, and we live stream all of our programming. Want to start off here and welcome in Jesse Gilliland. Jesse, thanks so much for being here tonight with us. Well, Jesse, let me tell everybody why you're here. A unique acquaintance. You were up at the Saturday show last week, and you and I sat down and really had an interesting conversation. And when you meet somebody and you start talking to them, you find out a lot more about them. And found out through conversation that you're a six-time world champion arm wrestler. There's not going to be any demonstration of arm wrestling out here tonight. We've got some clips that we want to show you a little bit later on the show, but just a unique field, and I wanted to learn more about it, and Austin did too, and sat down and had a great conversation with you. And we're going to talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about you and your career in arm wrestling, how you got into it, and then second, how to maximize your potential when you're working out, because I know in today's world, with obesity rates, rising and people becoming more conscientious of their health, there's good ways you can go jump in the gym and you can go get after it, but then there's the right way to go after it. And I think you're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. But Jesse, I want to start and talk about your career in arm wrestling. How'd you get started?
Well, my family has been doing it since probably late 60s, 70s. Two uncles, one aunt, former world champions. So just genetics, just kind of like a family thing where most everybody sits around and plays cards, and everybody in my family sit around arm wrestling. So, it's kind of a bragging right.
Yeah, sit around at the Thanksgiving table and arm wrestle each other. And, like you said, it's been in your family. You've grown up doing it. When did you start actually in competition?
So I started third grade, started competition fifth grade.
And is there actual clubs and places you can do that? Talk about that a little bit.
It started off as a little school, elementary, and they had some tournaments, and the family would go. And so I'd go watch the family. I was too young, and then I went to a tournament. My dad didn't go, and they said, you aren't in her. And then they couldn't find out I was too young, so they held the tournament up. Danny Stone, the six-time world champion, one of the best ever out of Alabama. He held the tournament up and said, hey, boy, and a bunch of people got mad. So my dad came and signed me in. And everywhere I'd go, they said, hey, boy. I always had that baby face. Hey, boy, and make fun of me. And all of a sudden, at the end of the day, they said, hey, sir, what kind of vitamins you got? And so it's just kind of funny.
Yeah, you let the action speak more than the words.
But my first tournament, I finished fourth. And I went for a couple of years, third, fourth place. Maybe 1 or 2 years. I got riding around one day, and I was settling for third, fourth place. I said, I'm going to win first. So I stepped it up, and all of a sudden I started winning first, and I started traveling.
And it's funny how that, and I guess that brings us to the point where we want to talk about that. What did you decide to do? I mean, a lot of us aspire to compete, and there's a lot of athletes that watch in particular sports, basketball, football. How can I make my game better? Right. And how can I take it to the next level? I'm busting my rear in the weight room. I'm training. I'm doing everything. I just can't get over the hump. What got you over the hump, Jesse?
I'll tell you, I'm going to go back to this little funny part. When I was in third grade or fourth grade, I had a girl to beat me.
That's always the motivation.
And I went home and I trained so hard. I said, come on, 3 more. You'd be cramping. I said, I'm going to get her. And I went back and I beat her. And I never would pull her again. But she's one of my best friends for 30 years. And we laugh about it. But it's just kind of like you get beat and people tell you can't do something. You're sorry. Right. You look at you kind of a little down. And I didn't fit in real good. I was overgrown. Fifth grade, I was 5'7", 130 pounds.
My goodness.
Same size shoe right now I did in fifth grade. And so, just kind of, I didn't really fit in. I was so overgrown on a grown man level, so that's how I learned how to meet people.
Sure.
Through arm wrestling.
Sure. Jesse, when you're trying to find your niche and trying to figure out where you want to go with things, you dig a little bit deeper and you try to figure out what it is that takes you over the top. What is it actually that took it over the top? I know you compare yourself similar, no cliche here, but to the movie Over the Top with Rocky, the arm wrestling movie there, right. You kind of had some similarities, right?
Right. Well, it's kind of like your own family. Everybody thinks your family supports you. they do, but I said, I'm going to go to my first competition. They said, hey, them boys are serious. You can't do it. And then when Rocky, his wife said, you can't win, he'll kill you. His trainer said, you're no good, you're a bum. People, then there's wives sitting on the first row. Then you got, the trainers, everybody walks in.
Confidence.
All them millions of people look and say, hey, look at that. He got his whole family support. They was at home beating him up. If he'd have listened to him, he never would have ever took the chance.
Sure. And
to step up.
Well, and that's the case for a lot of people. And there's a lot of, unfortunately, people and kids out there that hear negative things and they walk away from something. And but obviously you persevered, got through it.
Right.
Talk about your career here as a late 6-time world champion. Travel all over the place and you've met a lot of people, competed against a lot of people, and we're going to show a clip here in just a little bit and that chronicles that. But just amazing to watch how quick you beat some of these guys. I mean, it didn't last more than a second or two.
What's funny is a lot of people be bragging, man, you're so fast. And I'll be sitting there thinking, I'm 300 thousandths of a second off. You know what I'm saying? They bragging, I'm sitting there going, dang, I can go home and fix this.
Yeah, well, that's a true athlete. They got in the mind, it can always be better.
Never good enough.
It's never good enough. Talk about, and what, we're going to get into this in a little bit more depth, and we're going to have you do some demonstrations up here. But you got some ideas where you can take that strength that you've learned and the leverage that you've learned in arm wrestling and translate it over into other sports like football.
Right. But you can take football, volleyball. I'm going to go to volleyball. I had a friend of mine, and she was ranked in the state, one of the best volleyball players. And she'd jump up and hit the ball, and I got watching. She'd hit it 1 out of 3, 1 out of 5, she'd kill it. Then all of a sudden she might hit it and go into bleachers. It'd go anywhere. Whereas her wrist tendon, she couldn't control it. So she'd done my little plate curl, and she'd jump up, she could hit the ball, she could drive and aim it, and then she was an All-American at Florida. Well, that one little exercise made her from
it's
no different
than a golf swing. Right. I mean, a guy can get out there and he can hit and hit and hit, and then one person walk up and say, hey, step back a half a step or keep your arm straight just a little bit longer, and it can make all the difference in the world in shooting par golf or shooting 85 or shooting 90. So it's amazing how the small things, and you've got to be open to criticism first. You got to have an open mind. Nobody likes to be criticized. Everybody likes to think they got it and they don't need any help. But the sooner you can open up to somebody of knowledge now, not somebody that's may not know what they're talking about, but somebody that's a trainer that can help you. And the same goes in the weight room, right, Jesse? I mean, you need if you're starting off in the weight room and you're trying to get you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to eat right, you need people to tell you need a plan. Right. You got to have a plan of action, correct?
Right. You see people jump in a gym, all of a sudden they want to hit it hard. Remember, go back to where they used to be. Then they go home, they dead, they can't move. You got to start off, work your way into it. Everybody overlooks tendons.
Yes.
And you got to have your tendon strength. You see all these kids now, the growth hormone in the meat, same thing as steroids. The thing is, in some steroids, most steroids makes your tendons weaker. So the muscle's growing, and then they have more injuries.
And the tendons are the driver. They're the control force of your.
It's the steering wheel and the driver.
Yeah.
You got to if you can't hold it, you can't aim it. You can't drive it.
There's a lot of things that I learned when I was talking to you, and we got Jesse Gilliland here, and we're talking about personal fitness and training, and a 6-time world champion arm wrestler over here. A lot of small things that athletes that you've studied and learned about. Just like being able to tell a difference in your color of your urine. I mean, I know that's kind of off the cuff there, but I mean, if you study things and you're a purist and you're an athlete, you're looking for every little advantage you can get. How to be better oxygenated? What kind of water do you drink? And believe it or not, I mean, the types of bottled water out there, they're not all the same. And some are thicker tasting than others, and some are a little bit lighter. And how much water to drink? I mean, you were giving an explanation about running.
Right. Men's bodies use 8 ounces of water at a time. Women use 6. So if a woman drinks a 12-ounce drink, all her body's going to use is 6 ounces. The other 6 she's going to sweat, urinate more, and her body's not going to use. So it's just got to get rid of it.
That's right.
So it's just, and if your urine is a touch yellow, you're 30% weaker, 30% off on speed. The darker your urine, the more dehydrated, the weaker you are. So if I'm going to fly out of the country or out across the United States, I'll
to
be watching.
compete.
Right, I'll be watching my water, and then I make sure it's clear. If I'm competing and I get a touch, just a touch of yellow, I start sipping, just swigging. I keep it clear. You can fly, across the United States and get there, be 30% off, and get beat, come home and overtrain and beat yourself.
And beat yourself up when it was just something a little. All right, to me that's amazing. And think about these long trips. A team flying from the East Coast to the West Coast, and having to stay in their form and get ready to compete, and they may get home and they try to figure out something that really wasn't wrong. But little things like that in our conversation really is intriguing. I think it may be intriguing to a lot of people out there. I want to go back before we take our break and we come back to do a little demonstration. You got some ideas about how offensive linemen can get stronger.
Right. The weakness in college football and in all football, college and NFL, is the wrist. Them guys are so strong that they can't. They're losing 300 to 600 pounds coming off the ball. These exercises will make them, 300 to 600 pounds stronger, and they can use more muscles that they can't use. Injuries will go down.
Did you come across this, Jesse, when you were training to arm wrestle, or is this something you studied up?
I've been watching it for a couple of years, just saying, hey, I just kept seeing it. Even like their hand strength, if they can't hold it, that guy runs by and he wrap them up, and they run out of their arms.
If he can't hold on to
right, if he can't hold them.
That's when you see people break tackles.
Mm-hmm. If he's strong enough, his hand, he can run that guy down from behind and grab him, hook him in the shoulder pads. Even like Trent Richardson, so strong, you just hang on and drag him. You can't get him in, he'll get tired and fall down or something. But but you can hang on to him and drag him to the ground. You can push them out of the way. Mm-hmm. But the hands.
Just something simple with your wrist.
It amazes me how all these, they got the best technology in all these sports, and they've overlooked one little thing.
Well, and that happens a lot. Well, we're here with Jesse Gilliland. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have a little demonstration of some of the things that Jesse has learned over the past few years, and some of his ideas on how some of these linemen out here, some of these other athletes can do it a little bit better. So stay tuned. More Sports Blitz Live presented by JR's right after this.